Hey, what's up, JoJo in the Morning family? I hope you are having an absolute amazing Monday. I love Monday because I get to do it all over again. That's my outlook on life. I love Mondays. Some people say they don't like Mondays. I say I love Mondays. I just love it. Let's jump into this. I want to tell you about a really sweet dream that I had last night. It was so cool, so good. Just want to jump into this. So in this dream, my wife and I were together, and there were a few friends that were with us, and we were maybe like on a trip, it seemed, and we were just walking down a walkway, and there was like stores, one side and some scenic stuff, and then a few more buildings. And we were walking, and as we were walking, there was a homeless gentleman on the left. And I just told my wife and my friends in this dream, I'm going to talk to this guy for a while. They're like, oh, cool, let's all talk to him. So we just stopped, gave him a little bit of money, and we just talked to him, gave him time. And in this dream, his countenance changed, just that we stopped and talked to him. And then so the dream went on, and then like it was the next day, and I was somewhere else, and I was walking, and I saw an old friend of mine who in the dream was down on his luck, and in real life he's down on his luck because of some decisions he's made. And I just walked over and sat down and just stopped everything and just started talking to him, just loving on him, just loving on him, just talking to him, speaking life into him. The dream went on. The next day, I was going about my life, and there were some people that were part of a nonprofit organization that I saw raising money for something. I stopped, gave them some money, and talked, listened to them, heard their heart. I just didn't throw money. It's easy to write checks and put money on things, but I really listened to them. Man, the dream just kept going on like this. Like, I think part of the dream, I was flying to go preach somewhere, and I stopped in an airport and just talked to a worker there that was just, you could tell they were having a bad day. And I just stopped and just started ministering to them, not preaching to them, listening to them and talking to them. This dream went on for a while. What I noticed in the dream was every single day I stopped and did a random act of kindness for somebody. Somebody that could do nothing in return for me. I just did a random act of kindness. Now, real world. My wife and I, we love blessing people, And so we have ministers and organizations we sow into monthly. But then also, like, we'll be in a restaurant and we may see like a little young couple that, are just now starting out in life, and they may not really afford the meal, but they want to go out on a date, we'll buy their meal. And my place is Walmart, man. I love Walmart because I go and I'm looking around, and sometimes you see these elderly people who pull out their money, because elderly people, they roll with cash, y'all. They pull their money, they're counting out their money, counting their items. Someone pull out their calculator. I'm like, oh, put that calculator up. I got you today. And sometimes you might see a little, like a young mom with one or two kids, and they got that scared look on their face, and they're buying minimum stuff, and you just want to bless them. Or the other day I saw this older gentleman. He was rough. Ooh, he was rough. And I thought he was going to fight me for a second, but he was getting his stuff, and I said, hey, to the little cashier lady, and I said, I'm going to go ahead and put his stuff on mine. He said, you're not stealing my stuff. I said, no, I'm not trying to steal your stuff. He said, why are you trying to take all my food? I said, no, man, look, I'm going to put your stuff on my bill. I'm going to pay for it. Why would you pay for mine? I felt the Lord say to. No one ever does anything nice for me, and God don't care about me. I said, well, he cares enough for me to spend my hard-earned money on you. Hey, look, accountant's broke. You're going to buy my stuff for me? I said, I sure am, because the Lord told me to. I didn't even think God cared about me anymore. I said, oh, he does. He cares about you, sir. Sorry I acted that way. I fought for everything I ever had in life. I scraped just to get by my whole life. No one's ever done anything nice to me. I did blah, 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 blah. I said, hey, God bless you, sir. Let the Lord bless you. I didn't say me bless him. He needs to know it was from God. Let the Lord bless you with this today. It was like $40 in groceries. And he just said, his mind, you could tell all night he probably thought about how God blessed him, how good God is. Random acts of kindness. So many times in this busy world that we live in, we're always trying to figure out how we are going to make it, how we're going to do this, how we're going to do that. But the Bible says, love thy neighbor. So many times we forget about helping others, doing something for somebody that can't do anything in return. Loving on people. Going to a public place with the eyes of Christ. Listening to people with the ears of Christ. Which means you would discern what you see. I was at a restaurant recently, and there was a couple that was there, and they seemed to be doing really good in life. And I don't know why, but the Lord just told me to buy their dinner. And my first thought was, God, they make a lot more money than I do. So bought it. The guy messaged me later and said, 2 things you don't know. Number 1, we're always giving. And today we said, God, we're always giving. Please just show us that you still care and let somebody bless us. And he said another thing is we're struggling financially. One of our businesses is doing really bad. And it was a stretch for us to go out and eat. I had no idea, but God did. Random act of kindness. I remember times in my life when Autumn and our finances were tight. Ooh, they were tight. And I walked to my mail. I remember one time I walked to my mailbox and I had $800 in cash in my mailbox. I remember times I would just receive a check. Recently, one of our ministries was really, really tight, and somebody just wrote us a check, sent it to our P.O. box. You know, recently somebody sent us a financial blessing, and it really helped out. I tell people this all the time: God is an accountant. God's an accountant. He keeps good books. He knows when you need a financial miracle. He also knows when you need an emotional miracle. Sometimes you just need. One day, one of the generals in the faith reached out to me. I mean, a general in the faith. And said, hey, Joe, I just want you to know I'm so proud of you and Autumn. I'm like, you are. And he told us some of the cool things that he saw we were doing with our prayer meetings and stuff. And I was just like, wow. It just meant a lot to me. So I want to encourage you today. Do random acts of kindness. And in the busyness of life, you have no idea what stopping and talking to somebody for 2 or 3 minutes will do. Just loving on somebody. Recently, I saw somebody that left our church a few years ago. I saw them in public and they kind of looked down. And I just said, hey, what's up, man? I went and gave him a big hug, and he's like, I've always wondered, when I saw you in public, how you would act towards me. I said, bro, you leave our church, that's cool, we're still friends. And he messaged me later and said, you had no idea how much just that little interaction meant to me. You have no idea what random acts of kindness will do for people. Just reach out to people. Love on people. Sometimes I like to, if I read a book, it's really good. And I'll say, God, who needs this book? And he'll lay 3 or 4 people on my heart. I'll buy 3 or 4 copies of the book. It blesses the author, number one. Then I send it, and it blesses other people. When you read a good book, bless the author. Like sometimes I'll read a book, and I like it. I'll just send the author a few $100. Thank you for writing that book. Or I will go out and, like when I read Apostolic Church Arising, Moving in the Apostolic, books by Apostle John Eckhart and Prophet Chuck Pierce, those books. Shifting in Leadership, Apostle John Eckhart. Pleasure of His Company, Apostle Dutch Sheets. I buy a case of those books. Some of those books, I bought 2 or 3 cases of them. Started giving them out. Blessed the authors for writing such a good book. Random acts of kindness. So, speak life over people. Man, we're in such a hurting world. Speak life over people. Love on people. Some people just need to know, hey, I think you're awesome. And I always tell people about the good news of Jesus Christ. That's why I wear these caps, good news. My friends at Kingdustry, man, links below in these hats. They send me hats all the time. I wear them. And conversation starters. In public, we need to start more conversations. That's why I love when people wear like random t-shirts that are conversation starters, because some people need help with conversation starters in public. The other day I was walking in Walmart again, and there was a young guy. He was in the produce section. He was putting up some produce, and he just kind of looked beat down by life. And I love apples. And he's putting up some apples. I said, man, some good looking apples. He said, yeah, this time of year they get really good. I said, yeah. I said, man, how's it going? Oh, trying to make it, man, Got a young kid, my wife and I was trying to make it. I said, yeah. He said, working 2 jobs. I said, awesome, man. I said, man, when I was your age, I did that. And I started telling him a little bit of my story that when I was young, I worked 2, 3, at times I had 4 jobs. And then I started figuring some things out in life, and God started blessing me. And he's like, yeah, I need the big man upstairs to help me with some stuff. I said, you know what? You might not know this, but him and I are like really good friends, Like we got each other on speed dial. He started laughing. I started laughing. I said, let's talk to him real quick, okay? And I put my arm around him. He's working. And so I wanted to honor the place I was at. So I prayed a 30-second prayer, and he said, man, I felt that. I said, you know what? I didn't tell him who I was. I didn't invite him to my church. That was a moment him and God needed, okay? I wasn't trying to do that in public to try to get someone else to come to my church or anything like that. You know how religious folks do. A side note, the church isn't God. Sometimes you need to point people to God and not the church. Some of y'all didn't get that. You will. I remember one time I was with a group of pastors. And while we were there, this pastor told 5 people about his church. He said, I just love witnessing to all these people. And this other pastor said, sir, you haven't witnessed to anybody. You just tell people about yourself and your church. You don't tell anybody about God. And that pastor said, oh, humbug, It's all about Jesus Christ. Remember that. It's all about Jesus, okay? Everything we do is about the Lord. Glory be to God. Let's do some random acts of kindness. Let's be the hands and feet to Jesus. Let's go love on some people today. Let's minister to some people, okay? Let the Holy Spirit lead you. It's so fun because you're pouring out to all these people, and then something's just going to show up at your house. Recently, somebody sent me something. It probably cost less than $15 to buy, ship, and mail to me. It meant the world to me because they know what I like. Like, everybody has love languages. One of mine's coffee. But they had this certain coffee that I like, and they sent it to me. And it might not mean anything to you. It's just a coffee. But everybody has a love language. Like, some people are gifts, some are time. I got some folks I just text periodically. Hey, just want you to know, I had you on my mind. Love you, bro. Keep doing what you're doing. Keep doing what you're doing. I might send them like a love offering. They'll be like, man, that's so encouraging. One more story. So one time I was younger, probably about 20-something years ago. We're sitting there in church, and the Lord said, give this one gentleman in your church a $20 bill. I said, woo, and 20 years ago, $20 bill for a little preacher was a lot of money. I said, okay. So I walked out there, and I put that $20 bill under my thumb, and I gave that guy a holy handshake. This guy started crying. He's a manly man, started crying. He said, every week I walk around this sanctuary and I give $200 to $300 away in handshakes. Every week I give away $200 to $300 in handshakes. This morning I said, God, I just wish somebody would give me something. Show me that my life is making a difference. God, just for once, I would like somebody to bless me. He said, you have no idea what you mean. I said, man, that's only $20 is what I was thinking. But for a guy who was sowing out so much, sometimes what you think's a little offering, a little word of encouragement. One more story. I was in Walmart of all places the other day, and this guy, he had this shirt on. It was something about Jesus, and I just walked by. I don't even know this guy. I said, hey man, I love your shirt. I love your shirt. He kind of looked at me weird. And he found me in the store and said, sir, you have no idea how much that meant to me. I said, oh man, I love when people wear like Jesus stuff. He said, I'm a newer believer and I'm so nervous to tell people about Jesus. So I thought I would have a conversation starter and I'd wear this shirt. And the first few people that saw it were like very negative. He said, that word encouraged me to keep going. I said, well, let me give you a little exercise. Don't leave this store until you witness to 5 people. And I stayed in the store a little bit longer just to watch this guy. And he was walking around and he was talking to people about Jesus. Encourage some folks today. Hey, if you need prayer, I want to pray for you. Joe Joe in the Morning family. Go to the website, joejoedawson.net. Go to the contact button, hit that button. Send me your prayer requests. I would be honored to pray for you. Love y'all.